And today we have a voyager across the ocean who has come with a team of admirable people to share their journey in Palau of going from having problems, having not enough, to having abundance. President Tommy Remengesau was vice president in 1992 and was elected president in the year 2000. He led Palau through an amazing time of growth, but also of recognizing the value of conservation. He was a leader and a champion for initiatives such as the Protected Area Network of Palau, the Micronesia Challenge, which is the largest, or was the largest protected area initiative at the time to safeguard reefs and food for people, and also sustainable and innovative finance mechanisms. And we're very fortunate to have President Tommy Remengesau Jr. with us today, who will share some of that journey and also will provide time for a couple of questions at the end. So thank you.
Thank you, Chad, and thank you, Connor. Ali and aloha. I never spoke from the pulpit before, but maybe I can get an attentive audience just being here. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving us this very nice and warm welcome. This is indeed the true spirit of the islands, and I do hope that everywhere throughout the islands we continue to keep this island spirit of welcoming our fellow brothers and sisters everywhere you go. You know, they say you can take an island boy out of the islands, but you can never take the island out of the island boy. And so today I'm very happy to be here with our delegation, Senator Philip Lacrae, Minister of our Environment, Umi Isangabao, our partner from TNG, Representative Victor, and this young man, Kevik Sakuma. Please welcome them also as they join me today. We have come to Hawaii because we believe in the old saying that the oceans do not divide us, they connect us together. And so in this respect, we believe that Palau, like the Hawaiian Islands, share a lot of things in common, that we can learn so much from the experiences of each other. Hawaii is, of course, on the forefront of progress, being a melting pot, and really taking the leadership role on many island and regional issues. But Hawaii, like Palau, also has many good things that we can find in the mainland or anywhere else in the international arena. But what's even more important, and why we are here, is that there are things about Palau and about Hawaii that you don't find anywhere else except in Hawaii or in Palau. And those are the qualities, those are the environmental blessings that we have as island people. Those are what makes us live in paradise. But these blessings, my friends, these fortunate natural beauty and resources that we have, while we are blessed, they also come with a responsibility. And that responsibility is the driving force of what I believe all of us share as we sit in this room today, and as many of our young generation and future children share. And what we share is our belief that we shouldn't just concentrate on the blessings of what our ancestors were able to give to us. The focus should not be on the present or yesterday. It should be on the environment which we are borrowing from our future children. That's the difference. If we can focus on the future children, then we would do a lot better job than just utilizing what we have because of our ancestors. This is the foundation of the Micronesian Challenge. We felt that in Palau, we have 20,000 people. Yay! Simple problems, simple solutions. But we also have very limited natural resources. There's only so much that we can do to advance ourselves as a people and as an island nation. And I can say that our number one industry is the tourism industry. And so in Palau, we like to say the environment is our economy, and the economy is our environment. You cannot separate the two. If our environment goes, so will our number one industry. If our environment goes, so goes our livelihood, our culture, our identity as island people. Because in Palau, it's not all about business and commercialism and development. It's also about the sustainability of our very own people. In Palau, you can still live decently without a job. There's no homeless people, basically, in Palau. Why? Because there's abundance of marine fish that everybody is fishing. It doesn't mean you have to fish because it's a commercial thing. You fish because you were taught that you would make a good husband if you know how to fish. So that's really another criteria for the best husband in Palau. If you know how to fish, you got a nice girlfriend and eventually a very beautiful wife. But in Palau, we realized that, hey, we want development just as much as our next door neighbor. We want progress. We want the new things, the new technology, new things that you see on TV. We want 5-star hotels. We want tourists, more tourists to come and buy our local products. But we had to answer two basic questions. One, who are the owners of our natural resources? Who owns our environment? And two, how can we sustain ourselves by exploiting the environment? Exploiting in a good sense. And so to answer the question number one, we said, hey, we have to think of our people, the community, the resource owners, the fishermen, and the visitors. That's whom we need to develop Palau for. And two, how can we maximize what we have in the beauty of our environment? And we found out that there has to be a sustainable plan for all this, because we can't invite more tourists every year and promote Palau to bring more tourists when our food security is not there, when our marine resources cannot adequately accommodate the numbers of people that would come to our reef. We have to do this not because it's something that needs to be done. We are doing this because it's our life and death. It's what will keep us going. So the Micronesian Challenge was an answer to provide or conserve at least 30% of our marine resources and 20% of our land terrestrial resources. Simple goal, but we recognize that, hey, we needed to preserve something so that we don't saturate everything, so that we don't destroy everything that we have, so that the future generations, when they come, they will be able to see Palau as it was yesterday, today, and the future generations to come. But we didn't just declare areas as conservation areas and throw away the key. We needed to find sustainable ways to promote those places so that sustainable economic activities can take place and our people can feel ownership as well as economic opportunities in those areas. So this is where we need to go and promote ecotourism activities, catch and release programs, in addition to scuba diving and snorkeling. And by the way, those of you who scuba dive may already know that Palau, as remote as it is really the #1 diving destination if you are a true scuba diver. But there came a time when I, who is a scuba diver, went to the famous diving spots, and I could count more boats and more people than the Napoleon fish that we have down there. More people and boats than the barracudas and all the schools of fish that were out there. And that also was a concern for us. Because if we ever saturated or if we ever overexploited those places, there wouldn't be any more reason to come to Palau. So we looked around and said, hey, besides scuba diving, there has to be some other things that the people can come to. And we found that, yeah, we have waterfalls, why not hikers? We have endemic bird species, why not bird watching? We have watersheds, why not come and take a canoe ride on our long rivers? So many of our so-called historical sites in the villages that could be developed so that you don't just come to Palau for the marine part of it, you also come for the land part of it. So diversification of good activities is really the essential element of the Micronesian challenge. And sustainability of all these activities is what we're focusing on. We did not call this the Palau Challenge. We called it the Micronesian Challenge because it became a regional goal for Palau, for the Republic of the Marshall Islands, for the Federated States of Micronesia, and for Guam as a U.S. territory, and for Saipan as a Commonwealth of the United States, to go into this as a region. We found that by doing this on a regional level, we could get funding from our partners like the Nature Conservancy. You see, they don't want to do a good thing on an isolated place. They want to do a good thing that will affect the most people. So thanks for the research money from TNG. We were also able to convince our people that what we're doing is not something that is a political agenda or some government policy that would die when the next president come in. It was important that our people also understand that this research data actually reinforced, actually supported our traditional knowledge, our community-based best practices that our forefathers have actually practiced over the years. So it was easy to put the Micronesian Challenge together because we did not have to invent the wheel. Already throughout our generations, our forefathers knew where the groupers spawned on the reef. They knew where the schools of Napoleon fish would congregate. They knew where the best corals were located. So they always, through our traditional way of conservation, would tell the whole community, says, from such a month to such a month, the fish are spawning, no fishing, stay away from this particular area. What a way to begin putting a Micronesian Challenge initiative together. Go to the different communities, pick up their best practices, put them together, and do a legal framework that says this is a goal that we as the whole Palau will pursue. And so that is basically the heart and soul of this initiative that has gone beyond Micronesia. There is already a Caribbean initiative. There's already an Indonesian initiative. Kiribati has already set aside the Phoenix Islands as one of the largest conservation area. Hawaii, I know, is already debating on many of this proper marine management plan. And just before President Bush left office, he set aside the island that I can't even begin to pronounce the name. But of all people, Bush set that aside. So let's thank Laura Bush for doing that. My friends, this is the message that we bring to our fellow islanders everywhere. And that is, we will never stop the debate on whether we need to conserve or we need to promote growth. That will always be the hot agenda of the day. And it was never easy for us also. But I think if you are really true to yourself and to the generations that are coming, you have to take steps out of the norm. You have to think outside the box. You have to do something that will indeed ensure that the environment, our number one asset, is there for the future.